one of them involves this Columbia University deal. What does it mean? The university agreeing to pay $220 million plus in order for the Trump administration to restore most of its funding, like $400 million in research funding that was frozen. Zachary Marschall is joining us. He's the editor-in-chief at Campus Reform. What does it mean? How big a deal was this in terms of not just what Columbia's doing, but maybe the precedent that it sets for other schools, especially Harvard?
Yeah, it's great to be here. I think we have an unprecedented moment right now in higher education. The protests we saw since October 7th were unprecedented in scale, in violence, and in fervor from the students. At the same time, we're seeing the Department of Education take a lot of action against these universities to make them accountable to the Title VI protections they are upheld to uphold protecting Jewish students on campus. And so what I think we have right now is a bittersweet moment. Yes, this $221 million settlement represents Columbia University doing the right thing by students, but they also only came around to it under financial pressure to get their federal funding restored. They had over a year to do the right thing by students, and they continued through failed leadership and through failed policies when it came to campus safety and enforcement. So we have to look at this as a moment of discontent for the nation.
We had the education secretary on this network earlier, Linda McMahon. And, to the earlier point about precedent, I just want to play a quick clip of part of that interview and part of what she said about what this could lead to. Here it is.
It is our hope that this is going to be a template for other universities around the country. And we're already seeing other universities that are taking these measures before investigation or before our coming in to talk to them. And I think that is an incredible win.
How about that? Do you think that's true?
I totally believe it's true. Even PBS in 2024 reported that Columbia University was the epicenter of this phenomena we have experienced over the last year and a half, especially with the tent encampments we saw in the spring of 2024. They started at Columbia's campus and they spread to other schools, including Harvard University, University of Pennsylvania, UCLA. These are where we saw some of the worst violence and some of the greatest acts of destruction with property damage and against human beings. So it makes sense that we would see the Department of Education take similar actions against other universities that experienced the same thing Columbia did.
All right, let me tell you what Columbia is saying then. So Claire Shipman is the former TV news reporter, who's the president now of Columbia, says, quote, "This agreement marks an important step forward after a period of sustained federal scrutiny and institutional uncertainty. The settlement was carefully crafted to protect the values that define us and allow our essential research partnership with the federal government to get back on track." I mean, that's from all the schools, I think, is that, they just want to move beyond this stuff at some point. But your point earlier was that they should have done it sooner?
Yes, they could have done the right thing a lot sooner. At Harvard University, for example, they spent years going after students who are accused of microaggressions, of professors that ripped down posters, of having biased reporting systems. Yet when the protests erupted after October 7th on that campus, Claudine Gay, the then president, came out and said, "We tolerate diversity of opinion at the school. We respect all sides." That's not true. They flipped the script when it became inconvenient for them. And the Ivy League schools in particular spent a year and a half running away from their moral obligation to protect Jewish students, which they failed to do and they failed to care about. And now those universities are only interested in doing the right thing by our common morality, because their money's at stake. It's gross and it's greedy.
Campus Reform. Zachary Marschall, thank you.